Hi, this is Nathalie Kalbach with Creative Jumpstart 2020, and I'm super, super excited to have Mary Beth Shaw back again with Creative Jumpstart. I don't even know how many times you have been part of this. This is the 9th time I'm doing that, and I think you have been part of it for almost all years. Like maybe the first two you haven't, so I would have to look up, but yeah, she has been part of it for a very, very long time. And if you don't know Mary Beth Shaw, that's a bummer. You should know her, and you will get to know her now. She does amazing artwork. She's very well known for her abstract art as well as her amazing company, Stencil Girl Products, which I'm very, very proud to be part of the Stencil Girl family. And so, without further ado though, I let Mary Beth talk and introduce herself. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi, Nat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I think I have been part of it. I don't know, maybe 8 years, 7 or 8. I love it though. I like the speed of the recordings. The fact that they're like these quick takes that they seriously do jumpstart you. It's named perfectly, and especially in the beginning of the year when we all need that, you know.
Yeah. So I always loved your videos, but tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary Beth, for those people that don't know you, and a little bit about your artwork, which I think we might see some in the background, although this doesn't look like you, actually.
Actually, this is a wall of art from a bunch of my friends, although some of these are mine. I think this is one of mine. But these are just little artworks that I've collected on, like, I put on this gallery wall. I'm in my office now, and it's just nice to have all of these little small pieces that you can look at, you know. And I started my art in the year 2000. I mean, I don't want to say I started because I had done art really for many years before that, but I started taking it more seriously in the year 2000. And then in 2010, I started Stencil Girl Products. So we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary next year.
Which month is it?
I think it was in March or April. It was at Art Fest that year, and I launched the stencils, and that was weird. John and I went out to Port Townsend, Washington, where they used to hold Art Fest. We went out there last year, and he had never been there before, and I kind of just wanted to show him what it was like and stuff. And I said, Tisha Moore gave me my start as a teacher, which she did in 2008. And I said, and then there's the building where we launched the stencils in 2010. And it just hit me, like, my whole artistic life started in Port Townsend.
Wow.
I had never really thought about that before. But
that's amazing.
I know.
10 years, that's so cool. It's funny because for me, Stencil Girl Products has been around forever, and no, like in a good way, forever, right?
Yeah.
But I think my first stencils with you guys came out in 2013, so maybe 2012. So not that late, but it's amazing how much it has grown, and like all the different, also like how stencils just evolved. Like when I remember the first stencils that we had out, and then it gets more complicated and more sophisticated, different. So it's super, super fun. Mary Beth, what is your artistic superpower? And if your real life superpower is different, what is that?
Superpower is probably my ability to shoot from the hip. I mean, it's such an odd thing. It's like, when you get to be a certain age, I have found, and I don't mind doing live streams, I have found that has actually become part of who I am as an artist. To just keep going and use that mistake to move into a different direction or whatever. And so what seems like it might be a flaw has actually turned out to be a good thing for me, And I don't know if that would be my artistic superpower or what. I don't know. I love that theme, though, a superpower. I can't wait to see what people come up with. I know people might expect me to do something with stencils.
Come on, it's gonna be hashtag I see stencils everywhere.
Yeah, I know, right? Right.
Things that I wanted to ask you is, so you're super busy because you're doing your own artwork, you're having your company, and then you also teach workshops all around. So how do you actually make time to just create? And I mean, creating, it has been on my mind lately a lot, is because ever since I made art and everything around that as from a hobby to my real job, my full-time job, I struggle sometimes with doing art just for art, or doing this as my hobby, or when I have a free time as a leisure. And so I actually picked up learning an instrument, something totally different, because I felt like I needed. And I think that some people think that is wrong to do, because you, as an artist, you should be always painting, and you're so happy that you made your hobby to your life, like work, right? But I felt like I needed like a different outlet to spark my inspiration in a different way. So how do you make time to create it has to have a purpose when I do this?
No, well, gosh, it is always a push-pull, honestly, because so many times I'm either getting samples ready for classes, or I'm making, samples of things to do with stencils, or trying to come up with new ideas with stencils. And it does, like, I'm pushed and pulled so many different ways, and I get really grumpy if I don't get to make art just for me, right? So the art journal has really saved me many times because of that, because I can kind of eke out a little bit of time to work in my journal, and that'll make me very happy. Yeah, it is hard, and I try to be accepting of small amounts of time. If I can even get a small amount of time to do something, it's better than nothing. I try to do that, but I mean, I analyze this to death all the time. Like, I'm suddenly going to get extra hours in the day, and it's all going to work out perfectly, but it's just hard.
I know that, people that know you and know your artwork, maybe you sent me some of your artwork so I can plop it into this video as well. Okay. You do a lot of very gorgeous, layered, abstract paintings, like the one that you showed, but actually even more abstract. So do you have shapes and patterns that you find yourself like using over and over again in your artwork? And you do?
I do. I've gone through a lot of different shapes. We shared a studio for like 5 years. It's been a while, but anyway, she was teasing me one day, and she's like, "You didn't invent the circle, because I had so many circles. So it's like I went through squares. I think squares were first, and then I went through circles, and then I did a whole thing with triangles. And it wasn't like I used squares and circles and triangles in the same piece. Oh no, only the squares, and only the circles, and then only the triangles. And I don't know, it's just crazy. Now I'm really stoked about line right now. I don't know, it's just odd. But I'm also really back into collage right now, more so than painting. I'm enjoying collage more than I ever have before, so that feels really good.
That's interesting. And I think it's also because we all go through different phases, right? I'm doing this thing right now where, probably because I just don't have the capacity right now, but it's like I love open white space. Like, I'm like looking at my pages now, and I'm like, this is so odd. If you put that next to my throw more paint on and layers and layers and layers and layers, right? It's like, what's happening here? But I think this is just like, I enjoy this so much to have just like, it's still not orderly. Don't mind you, will never be like, precise.
Yeah. It is so funny though, because I know I've done the same thing. Like I went through this whole phase where I had these super busy paintings. They were just like, holy cow! I mean, you could look at them, and I mean, I think they worked from composition and color standpoint and so forth, but they were clearly busy work. They were busy, and I just had a lot of things on my mind then, and I think it was coming right out onto the canvas. And right now, I'm back to maybe a little bit more spare work, but I'm back to some vintage components like I used to do in the very beginning, but in a different way, using them differently and in a more abstract way. And I don't know where it's going to go. Who knows? I never know. I'd love to, sometimes I miss exhibiting, I used to have a pretty active schedule with galleries and shows and stuff. But, oh my gosh, it's been a long time since I've done that.
Maybe you do it again. It's not too
I know.
You can do it, I think we go with, of course, when you have a company like you do and there's so much stuff around it involved, then, you might have put that on ice. But I can see you doing that again.
Yeah, I think sometime. I mean, that's the thing about art is really there's no like age limitation. I mean, we're going to be old ladies making art, I'm sure we will be.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I just think that we'll keep doing that. But
speaking of abstract art and getting inspiration, are there any famous abstract painters that you really, really love and look for inspiration for?
Yes, I would say one of my favorite painters is Richard Diebenkorn. When I started painting in an abstract way, we lived in California, and some of the museums out there had a lot of his work, and so I got to see a lot of it close up, and I really loved it. Especially his Ocean Park series. The way he divided the space was very interesting to me. It was like kind of architectural and kind of grid-like, but the colors were just beautiful and interesting. And I really liked his work a lot. I saw an exhibit of his, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago when we were in Palm Springs, and it was really cool to see a lot of his work together, and I still really like his work a lot. A lot of abstract painters that I like. When I lived in California, I studied with Anne Baldwin, and she ran this group, this critique group, and kind of almost a mentorship, and we would go to museums and we would look at the art and discuss it. And it was almost like getting an art education, and that was where I first learned of Diebenkorn, and I loved him. And even like Mark Rothko, those color field paintings that you wouldn't think that they would be as interesting or as fascinating as they are, but they really are. And Robert Rauschenberg and Jasper Johns, a lot of the, the quote usual suspects for abstract work. Oh God, who was that guy? Anselm Kiefer that we did. Yeah, love his work, and Kurt Schwitters, and I don't know, all kinds of different artists. I think it's really important for us as artists to look to the past and even to look around at what's going on in the current day too, but especially to the past, to the histories of art. I remember once when I took a collage class with Jonathan Talbot many, many years ago. I think it was maybe in the year 2000 or 2001. And he described it as like art history is like this ball of like tape or something, where you've taken masking tape and gone and made a ball. And like every one of us is putting on another piece. And I thought, I love the idea of that,
That's a great picture, yeah. Ouch, I'm getting bitten by a cat while we're because my hand is on the treat box.
So he's like down under your desk. That little thing.
Yeah, so I cannot wait to see your video, Mary Beth. That was super fun to talk to you again, as always. Do you have a little hint? No, you're shooting
I
from the hip.
don't. I don't. I'm a total last minute girl, so you know me. Whatever the deadline is, I'll probably shoot it right before then.
You know that
I'm
is not
awful.
true.
What?
That's actually not true because Mary Beth is one of the most organized people that I know, and you're one of the first ones usually to bring
Am
everything
I
in.
really? Oh, that's hilarious. So people are worse than I am. I think of myself. I always think of myself as being so last minute, and I feel unorganized. But I'm really happy that I'm like putting out this different persona. That's hilarious.
I'm like, what is she talking about? She's always on time. She's always early. Like,
Oh, good.
yeah, it's a joy to work with you. Don't change it.
Oh, shoot.
I'm kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
I won't. I'll probably do whatever I always do. I always think of myself as rushing and doing it the last minute, but you know, it's like I always try to get my brain out of the way. So, yeah.
Cool. I can't wait to see it. So sign up for Creative Jumpstart and use Mary Beth's link. She will appreciate that. And I can't wait to see what she's shooting from her hip this time. Her last Creative Jumpstart was super cool again too. We did home decor, and I really enjoyed that one especially. So I'm like, I want to do this now for a
I'm
new
still
home.
actually using those too.
That's nice.
So,
We can tell you she did some. If you haven't done Creative Jumpstart last year, she did. She stenciled some really cool placemats.
placemats, just
Yeah.
cork ones from IKEA. Super easy. Yeah.
And she did a little tour through her house, and she showed like all the different ways how she used stencils in her home decor and artwork. And you know, that was just the theme this year. Last year was home decor and home, like, you know, making things home, and that was super fun. So cannot wait where the superpower is going to lead us.
That's right. Superpowers. Maybe I'll make a cape. No, I won't.
Ooh, you're wearing an invisible cape already, so show us how to wear it.
No, I'm not a seamstress anyway. But yes, I am very excited, and I'm really grateful you asked me again, Nathalie. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.